Welcome to the Red Half of Sheffield preview pod. Back for this one. 12 games to go in the league season. The opposition Saturday at Bramall Lane is the team we opened the season with. Preston North End. Paul Heckingbottom's Preston North End, who, as I was just talking with our guest, and I will introduce him now, Jack from the Butter Pie Podcast is back. One of my favorite guests to have on throughout the season. It is truly an honor. Jack, how are you doing this early morning, stateside, early afternoon, UK time?
Doing really, really good, actually. I mean, I went out to celebrate last night, to reach the quarterfinals of an FA Cup. So in a way, I'm a little bit rough, but I have no regrets. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
As we were talking before the recording, you're the only EFL team left currently in the competition. Cardiff got knocked out. Burnley, obviously, Preston beat Burnley yesterday. So recap Paul Heckingbottom's little run to the FA Cup quarterfinals.
I know, yeah. I mean, we started off, I believe, if I recall correctly, I might need to remind myself here. Yeah, we started off with Charlton, which got rescheduled due to our pitch being frozen over. And then we came and beat them 2-1 in the, I think on a Tuesday night. And then we got Wickham, who were flying high in League One, They're a decent side, but they had a new manager because Matt Bloomfield left for Luton. So we thought it was going to be a difficult game regardless. But, new manager bounce, you never know how that goes. But you never know how it's going to go with any new manager. The manager they were flying high with has just gone to a higher division. So you never know how they're going to react. They were quite resolute. 0-0. We went all the way to penalties. 4-2 win. It was good to get through that one. But when we got drawn with Burnley, I think a lot of us was like, I think it's going to be a tough one, this one.
Yeah.
Because they are so difficult to break down. They are a awful team to come up against. They've only conceded 9 goals in the league, and we drew 0-0 with them 2 weeks ago, and we've drawn 0-0 with them at their place early on in the season.
Mm-hmm.
So we were thinking maybe there might not be some hope for us, but boy, was I wrong. Was I absolutely wrong?
Yeah, okay.
Came out 3-0 winners, just absolutely just proved everyone wrong. We actually looked like a team that was just it was just a completely different team. I saw we were just on the front foot. We really didn't give Burnley too many great chances, and we just sort of sat back, waited for them to overcommit, and then broke them on the counter.
Mm-hmm.
And which is this sort of style that Paul Heckingbottom has really tried to adopt with us, and it's worked in some instances, in some games. Watford away being one of them, and it's just a massive statement win for us because Paul Heckingbottom has come into a team where we don't really know where we stand and what the identity is, and we're kind of just having a bit of a crisis internally, like in what the direction is going to be. And he's just come in and stabilized the ship, and now he's really looking to put his authority and his stamp on his team now, which is paying off. But he still needs this squad overhaul. But what a statement yesterday was. I said on my Twitter yesterday that we need to back him because he will deliver for this club. He will absolutely deliver.
Yeah, and he is known, as I mentioned pre-recording, to take a team on a run in the cup. As far as the league form recently, because you look at the table, and Preston, it's almost every season as every talking hairdo talks about Preston, bang, right in the middle of the league.
Mm-hmm.
The league form been more of a work in progress, and as you mentioned, the overhaul, and in the summer, if Heckingbottom's backed by the club and by the owners to give the cash. Is this something where you're just almost in a sense trying to limp to the finish line of this season? Okay, probably going to be okay, not going to be in a relegation fight, finish middle of the table. And then next season or over the summer, hopefully they back him, bring the players in that he wants, and then do something that Preston probably hasn't done in a few years and contend for maybe playoffs?
No, 100%. I think what we as a fan base have done at the moment is we've really more focused on the FA Cup, really.
Yeah.
Because we've seen like the potential in terms of the prize money and what that could do for us in the transfer market. And in terms of the league, there was a period where we were kind of just checking over our shoulder a little bit, just to keep an eye on the teams behind us. But we know we're not going to go down. We're not going to go up. So we might as well just get to the end of the season, look at our performances, look at the squad, and just sort of rebuild from there.
Yeah.
Just look at that situation and just go, what do we need? We need this, we need that. Who do we get rid of? And, I feel like a lot of our fans, including me, have kind of clocked out the league season. I've said this on many podcasts. We've clocked out the league season. We're more focusing on the cup and just really looking forward to the next season where the rebuild has to happen now. It has to happen.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't get back, then it's going to be a missed opportunity. I've not felt like this for a manager since maybe Alex Neil back in 2017.
Really?
He got us within touching distance of the playoffs. It took us to the final day of the 17-18 season. We beat Burton, but Derby battered Barnsley, so we missed out. And we looked at that and gone, if he just gets backed in the summer, if we just splurge a bit of money, keep all of our key players, then why not have another go? That didn't happen, but it's and ever since then it's kind of just regressed into this 11th place every season, 12th place every sort of contending for those spots, and with the odd like moments of could they not, like could we be a potential dark horse, but it never comes into fruition like that. But this is the first time I felt since Alex Neil where we have a manager who knows what he's doing. He knows how to build a team. He knows what to do. Like, he's got the ideas and he wants to pull us in a certain direction. He's just got to make sure that the ball go with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the first time I felt, so confident in a manager since Alex Neil.
Yeah. And everybody kind of knows my thoughts on, Hecky was dealt a bad hand, whether you want to say he had an influence in the transfers in last season at Sheffield United. He was dealt a bad hand when the club sells your two best players 2 weeks before the season, and then says, "Here, good luck." Okay, so it brings my spirits up when you said the Preston fans have kind of switched off in the league form. To Saturday, how do you think Saturday goes? Because this is, in all honesty, and this is nothing against Preston, to start the season, now that was under a completely different regime, I thought Preston were going to be one of the worst teams in the league. And for the most part, they were until Heckingbottom came in and got the ship kind of righted, and the league form has, turned around. And they've climbed out of that hole that they were in. How do you think Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff goes?
Believe it or not, I'm quite confident going into it. Not for a win. I'm certainly hopeful that we could maybe get a point at the very least. I mean, I do obviously see a possibility of us losing because, I mean, you guys are really bloody good. You're also really bloody good. 6 defeats this season, 23 wins, like you are. And you've got some really good players. Like, you've got Tom Cannon, and that makes me so upset, even though he hasn't scored a goal for you yet.
Yeah.
I absolutely still adore that man when he was on loan here. I absolutely adore him. So I just hope he doesn't score. I mean, I hope any of them don't score. But, if he was to win and Tom Cannon was to get the goal, then I don't know how I'd feel. But I'm quite confident of getting a point, really, because I don't know. I just feel like the way we set up, we'll probably set up with like Ryan Ledson or Ali McCann and Ali McCann. And, that kind of brings us a little bit more stability in midfield defensively. And then we got Stefan Tordarson, who could also play, and he's really good at just sort of dictating the play. His long passing, his range of passing is incredible. He's really coming to his own this season. But I'm kind of confident that we'll come away with a point. I mean, it'll be, annoying for you lot because depending on Burnley's result, that could really change the dynamic of the second automatic spot, the race for that. And but for me, it's all about, we might have clocked out for the season, but we still want to go get these results. We still want to prove that we have the capability of going to these places and sort of upsetting the odds and sort of stamping our authority on the game, that we can, like, these performances that we can build on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we need. That's the sort of performances we need. We need to go to places like Sheffield United, and where everything is against us. We need to, sort of upset the odds. And we've done that with Burnley. We've gone to Turf Moor, got a point there, and we got a point against Leeds at home. We are capable of doing that. So, it's. With Paul Heckingbottom, for me, I just feel a lot more confident going into these top teams. I don't know what it is. Many Preston fans might disagree with me, but I'm just kind of looking forward to it. I don't know why. I shouldn't be, but
it's okay to have hope. It's a good sense, and it's good to see you in such a good spirit, because I remember at the beginning of the season when we did the preview, you're like, "Oh, I don't know what direction this club's gonna go," and then it started off, and it was so bad against us, and because we didn't even probably get out of first or second gear and won it 2-0. And if they got the top gear, we could have probably battered Preston, but it's like, man, I didn't think this team was going to be that bad, because I was a little bit leery of starting with Preston at the beginning of the season. But, since Heckingbottom came in, like I said, righted the ship, the results have came in and picked up points against the big boys. So I hope this isn't a stumbling block for Sheffield United and our ultimate goal to go up automatically, because we trimmed the lead back to 3 points. Leads basically, you can call it a 4-point lead, because Leeds have the goal difference, superior goal difference over us. But nonetheless, if we go into these games and think we can take Preston lightly and we're just going to walk all over them and collect the 3 points and go home, you're mistaken. We've got to, we can't drop our guard, and we have to, be on our top game. The performance against QPR is a perfect example. If QPR could at least score one or two of their chances, you lose yesterday. So, looking forward into the run into the season, Sheffield United has to be on their A game. If not, you're gonna throw this automatics away. But I'm hoping with you beating Burnley as bad as you did yesterday, maybe it opens up some of their defensive frailties and teams start to, reach their back line and beat them, and they start to fall to the wayside. But it should it'll all shake out in the end. So Jack, you're going for a draw, an optimistic draw.
I'll go for a 0-0.
Okay.
Boring.
Oh, God.
You know what? I'll go for it.
Well, I won't be able to watch this one, so that'd be a great one to go 0-0. All right, Jack, before we get out of here, let everybody know where they can find the pod.
Oh, yeah. At the Butterpie Pod on X, or the Butterpie Podcast on Instagram. Okay. Yeah, that's where you can find us if you want to hear mine and Ollie's luscious tones.
Go ahead and give it a listen. If you haven't done so, guys, follow the podcast Red Hat for Sheffield, Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube for this preview, Spotify, Apple, everywhere you can find podcasts. Just look up Red Sheffield. and you should be able to find us. Until the next preview pod, I will leave you guys with Up the Blades.